This is Book of Life Studies. Let us enter Zion's gates.
Libya's ousted leader, Colonel Muammar Gaddafi, was reportedly killed by transitional forces on Thursday in his hometown Sirte.
I can report to the American people and to the world.
So,
the United States has
this past year, 2011,
Osama bin Laden,
President Obama has taken both, or supposedly been in command of the U.S. and the CIA, connected with our government in
bright September day was darkened
killing
by
both
the worst attack on the
Osama
American
bin Laden and just recently in this past week of
into our national memory.
Gaddafi.
Planes cutting through a cloudless September sky.
Oh my God!
This terrible event that took place over 10 years ago, September 11th, 2001.
Why do people push pounds and powder? Why did Bush knock down the towers? Why you around them cowards? Why Aaliyah have to take that flight? Why my homie D ain't pull out his Ferrari? Why he take that bike? To remain seated.
We have all these other events that have taken place in this past decade, starting with the fall, the actual collapse of the Twin Towers, right there in Manhattan, New York City.
So Jah blessed the seventh day and hallowed it, because on it Jah rested from all the work that he had done in creation.
The United States Supreme Court permits the Ten Commandments to be on public property, so long as the goal of displaying them is not to gain support for religion. But in 1980,
a so-called Christian nation,
pushing that the Ten Commandments
more and
cannot
more
be shown in public schools
out of its society
because
civilization.
Displaying them shows support of religion.
Sung Wee returned to his own dorm room and made the final preparations to mail what appears to be a video confession.
When the time came,
and you wonder why these things have taken place right here on American soil
document, he includes
in the recent past, not even going back to 10 years, go back to just the past 4 or 5 years.
In the rest, he presents the stern face and strikes the pose that was very likely what his victims saw later on Monday.
Brainwashing and such.
So,
now, what if
is it possible
that you were being
certain victims
bombarded with mind control techniques on
certain
a daily basis?
Mind control. They use it through modern technology. A form called silent sound spread spectrum.
This is your brethren. Facilitate high-tech mind control. Believe it or not, like it or not. Don't be afraid.
That kid was programmed straight up.
It's clear. You understand? It's clear. Satan is static. It's the static among the clear audio. If you understand clear audio, what that refers to. Now, that is why everything must be converted to digital. Now, digital, from digitalis, it basically means finger. You remember that thing that happened with Gita Jesus and the casting out of demons? How can you resist that? Don't put it past Big Brother to try to put the will of the Antichrist directly, if possible, if it is possible, into your brain as you make eye contact with your digital televisions.
Thanking Harris Wofford.
Remember the smooth words that were spoken to all of us
in so many different ways. He
back in 2008.
Exemplifies what we mean by the word citizen.
Just 3 years ago.
Very grateful to him for all the work he has done, and I'm thankful for the gracious and...
Which brings us to this present time,
You're a bum, Jew.
2011,
I'm a Jew. Why are you fighting with
the
us?
recent
You got the money.
Wall Street
That's why you're
protest.
fighting the Jewish man. We got the
and now this recent death of Muammar Gaddafi, after all this time, a former enemy of His Imperial Majesty Kadamawi Haile Selassie I.
Awaited at the Palisados Airport. The arrival
you see,
of a living legend.
After all this time, in 2011,
the Lion of Judah, even
over 3 decades after
he was a mild-mannered monarch.
His Imperial Majesty was betrayed by his own so-called people right there
the air was charged with
in Ethiopia.
As anxious, expectant faces searched the skies for the first glimpse of the great silver bird to bring their hero to Jamaican soil for the first time.
Evet, Başbakanlığın Afet ve Acil Durum Yönetimi Başkanlığından yaptığı açıklamayı bir kez daha hatırlatalım sizlere. Bu açıklama aynı zamanda ilk kez bir açıklama olma özelliğini koruyor.
Now you have this recent talk about, after all this time, finally taking our U.S. troops out of Iraq and parts of Afghanistan back home to American soil, which technically should have been done a long time ago, but you know, there's concerns about Iran invading that area of Iraq and even possibly Israel.
It's quite natural that,
despite the multitude of propaganda and the powers that be that confuse the descendants of the true Eurocentric Jews in Israel today and throughout the world with the so-called Jews, the Ashkenazis, and descendants of ancient Russian converts that are connected with the powers that be. You have genuine, real Jewish people of the Eurocentric Jewish descent in Israel. So extreme anti-Zionism isn't really the answer, although we do fight against, you know, Zion extremists and those forms of propaganda that cause more oppression, more confusion, not just to the majority of Palestinians and Arab Muslims, but even Israeli Jews, including Orthodox Jews as well as the Messianic Jews.
Descended from one of the lost
even some of the original Beta Israel community from Ethiopia, right there in Israel.
A holiday symbolizing the acceptance of the Jewish covenant on Mount Sinai.
Israel and the Palestinians, what's leading it?
So you have this gradual process of what's been going on these past 2 or 3 years of our present-day U.S. president and this modern-day spiritual Egypt or modern-day mystery Babylon in these present times in connection with, you know, the other so-called nations representing Islamism instead of true Islam, and, you know, so-called Pan-Africanism and, you know, all these ism and schisms. But if you look at ancient biblical prophecy from the original Torah, you know, even prophecies of Yeshua, Jesus Christ, and the Gospel, and New Testament, and Book of Revelation, and so forth, you see a connection with this repetitive cycle of history repeating itself. The king of Babylon and connecting with the prince of Persia and Gog and Magog, symbolizing Russia and Iran. You see this stuff coming together. Those who have eyes to see, and ears to listen.
But we still have much further to go.
Planes crashed into the World Trade Center in New York.
So,
we were told Al-Qaeda
what I really want to talk about in this particular documentary, this particular video,
the truth is, this was the major crisis that P9 was talking about.
The major contrast between
the major event that spawned
the Illuminati or world systems, so-called apocalypse or new world order, versus, you know, the true apocalypse. So the so-called apocalypse that they want to make us think about is based off fear factors and mind control. The so-called, you know, 2012 Mayan calendar, end of the world,